So let's jump into the code. So the first thing we need is to create an array and array of the extensions of the files that you want to create. So let's say extensions, and this is an array, and we will pass different extensions like png as well as .txt as well as .html. Let's say .js for JavaScript and .css for the style sheets files for this, and let's say .php and .py different arena files. Let's say .docx and .ppt and let's say .xls. Yeah, xls. Oh yeah. So now we have the extensions. Now let's create the count, the variable to that will store the count. So let's say file underscore count and set that equal to 100 because we want to create 100 files randomly. And now let's create the destination. So let's say dest underscore path and set that to, let's say, temp underscore files and or directory or whatever. So now we have these variables, and now we will check if the directory doesn't exist, then go ahead and create that. So the way we will do that is to check. So f and then test the path. We will use the test path command and passing the path that is the dist. And now once the directory doesn't exist, which means that this we will have to pass like the not. So the way we do that is like if not the path, then go ahead and enter this if statement. So now we have to create a directory. So let's say new item, and the item type is directory, and then the path that is dist path. So now here we can pass the actual path that PowerShell accepts, like is like this. So now we have the path. This will create that temp files directory. So if I save this, let's try that out. So I will come to the terminal, and here we have the script.ps1. So let's execute it, and if I check, oh, as you can see, the temp files directory is created. So now we need to loop through this 100 items, and each time we execute that will be created some random file based on the extensions here. So we will use for loop. Let's say for I is equal to 1 and I is less than that variable that we created, file underscore count. And here the first thing we need is to set the file name. So let's say file underscore name, and the way we will create the file name is to use some characters, some random characters, and join them, convert them to alphabetic characters, and then store that in this variable that is file underscore name. So the way we do that is like dash join. I will show you what that means. So join, and then here I will pass from 65, that is the uppercase alphabetic characters, up to 90, and then add that to the lowercase characters, alphabetic characters, that is 97 to 122, and then we will pipe that to the get random command. As we have discussed before, it is used to get random characters or get random number. So now here we have passed the range of the numbers that we have. So it will pick up eight numbers from that. And now after this we have to convert this to a character, right, again. So the way we do that is to use ampersand sign and then convert that into character. So the way we will do that is if I just print the item variable or ps item, that is a shortcut for that. So this will have, each time we execute this, it will pick up random numbers from this range and minimize it to add characters, and the underscore will print that. So we can try that in the terminal. So if I copy this, I'll come here, and if I execute this, let's remove the equal sign so that we will get a result immediately. As you can see, it has some random characters, right? But we do not want something like this. So the first thing, let's use quotes or curly braces inside. So now as you can see, they are concatenated. So now these are like the like as you can see, 61 and 26. These are the characters, ASCII characters from alphabetic characters. So the way we convert that into alphabetic characters is to set the data type for that. So now if I set the data type for $_ to char, and now if I hit enter, it has some random characters. Of course, we pass 2 that is 122, not just 22. So now as you can see, we have the correct random characters. So now we can increase the size as well. Let's say 18. Now we have the 18 characters. So that is how we can create alphabetic characters randomly based on the range that we passed for, from upper characters. This is the upper character range up to lower character range. So now we have the name. We will set this as a name, and then we will pick up random extension. So let's come back to the script. So I will copy and paste that right here. So this will now have the name. So now we need to pick up the random extension from the above, from this extension that we pass. So the way we do that is create a variable, let's say ext, and set that to call the extension, and then we have to get random because we can't pass just like hard-coded values like 0, 1, 2, and so on up to the length of this. So we will again use the get random command. So get random, and then we can pass the min range. So min, so the minimum is 0, and the maximum range is the length of this with -1 because it starts from 0. So the way we do that is extensions dot length, or we can use the count. So count and then -1. So now we will have the random extension for this. So we can try that in the terminal as well. If I come here, now we have the extension array, and now if I execute this command, we have some error. Let's see what we have error here. The array index expression is missing or invalid. So now we have error somewhere. Get random minimum is 0, maximum is this. Let's see what we have here. If I enclose this, because the get random command is like outside, as we pass here, the same thing we pass the code here. So let's see is that it's going to work. Yeah, as you can see, we have .css, now .txt, and .file, .php, .txt, HTML. So the moral of the story is that it is going to pick up a random best, and the range that we pass, like the minimum is 0, and the maximum is the length of that with -1, and pass that to the extensions array, and display that. We will assign that to the variable actually. So I will copy that, come here, and paste that right here. The best way to debug a PowerShell script is to just copy the variables and paste that in the terminal and interact with that. So now we will append the path, the extension, and the destination folder. So to do that, as let's say create a variable that is path, and set that to use the join path command, and then set the path to the directory path. So that is dest path, and then the child path is the file with the extension. So $file name, file count, $file name, and then immediately the extension. So now this will be like file name is, let's say, some random characters in .txt, .file, .js, and stuff like that. So now once we have the actual path, we have to create the item. So we will use the create item, and then we will pass the item type, that is a file, and then we have the path, and the path is the path that we created the variable, so $path. Now once we do that, it will create the item in that directory. So now let's try that out. After that we can create an like print the message. So let's say alright host, and let's say $file count, files or random files created in $dist path. So now if I save this, let's try that out. I will clear the screen. If I execute, we have the temp directory, so let's remove that. Now we have executed the script. So we created random 100 random files, and the directory path is this. So let's just jump into that directory, and here we have the file. So if I open that up in the Explorer, we will see that the files with the random extensions are created. Of course the length is 0 because we haven't tried anything to them, but we got the files. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.